Now on CoastTV News.
Biden prostate cancer diagnosis, reaction from local and national leaders. Thousands of people rock in Ocean City, how this helps the town. Cave Neck road changes starting tomorrow, what you should know.
Well, we rounded out the weekend today, hitting 79 degrees in Georgetown. It was a beautiful day, a bit on the breezy side. We're going to duplicate this into our Monday before rain rolls in midweek. We'll talk about the latest rainfall timing and how much you can expect to see coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Leaders react to Biden diagnosis. Good Sunday evening. I'm Brandon Ferguson. Welcome to CoastTV News at 11. We begin tonight with reaction from Delaware and Washington to former President Joe Biden's prostate cancer diagnosis. The former president's office calling this an aggressive form of prostate cancer. Jen Sullivan shows us more on what this type of cancer does.
A shocking health announcement coming from the Biden family. Former President Joe Biden diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer that has spread to his bones. His personal office releasing this statement Sunday, saying, quote, "Last week, President Joe Biden was seen for a new finding of a prostate nodule after experiencing increasing urinary symptoms. On Friday, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer, characterized by a Gleason score of 9, with metastasis to the bone. While this represents a more aggressive form of the disease, the cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management." The statement went on to say that the 82-year-old and his family are reviewing treatment options.
The fact that we're told that this is, metastatic now, the 5-year survival rate on average is about, 33%. So, there are some people that do well and some people that don't do well.
The American Cancer Society estimates 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during their lifetime.
Because there's such a high volume, there's a lot of research dedicated to its treatment.
Medical experts say cancer that has spread to a patient's bones can add further complications.
Biden, as I said, has always lived his life in the public eye and has always thought there was a value in showing other people going through difficult times.
His former Vice President Kamala Harris posting this on X. "Joe is a fighter, and I know he will face this challenge with the same strength, resilience, and optimism that have always defined his life and leadership. We are hopeful for a full and speedy recovery." I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Tonight, many politicians sending their prayers and best wishes to Biden. We're going to go through a few. First, starting with Delaware Senator Chris Coons, saying in part, quote, "Joe's faith and family have brought him through the tough challenges before and will again. Our prayers are with him and his family as he begins treatment," end quote. Now to former Delaware Senator Tom Carper, saying in part, quote, "Prayers of our family and millions of American families from all walks of life and excellent medical care. He will overcome this latest challenge. That is my hope and my prayer," end quote. Delaware Senator Lisa Blunt Rochester also saying tonight, in part, quote, "I join in sending the entire Biden family prayers for peace and healing. There is an entire legion of friends and supporters who stand alongside you on this difficult journey," end quote. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan said this in a Facebook post tonight, quote, "Cancer knows no politics. I join with all Americans, millions of whom have faced a dreaded cancer diagnosis, in offering my prayers and support to former President Joe Biden," end quote. Those were some reactions from local leaders here on Delmarva. Now we're moving to former President Barack Obama, saying in part, quote, "Nobody has done more to find breakthrough treatments for cancer in all of its forms than Joe. And I am certain he will fight this challenge with his trademark resolve and grace. We pray for a fast and full recovery," end quote. President Donald Trump in a social media post tonight saying, quote, "Melania and I are saddened to hear about Joe Biden's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest and best wishes to Jill and the family, and we wish Joe a fast and successful recovery," end quote. And we have a full article on CoastTV.com right now about the reaction to Joe Biden's prostate cancer diagnosis. And we're now going to take a live look outside into Milford and bring in our first alert meteorologist, Chris Mastrobuono. And Chris, after what Delmarva experienced on Friday, this weekend has been a breath of fresh air.
Without question, Brandon, we have been rewarded with a gorgeous weekend. We were quite warm yesterday. Today, not as warm, but we were quite breezy. Now, the National Weather Service conducted that survey yesterday for the tornado that hit portions of Dorchester County as well as portions of Sussex County. Well, today, in their findings, they concluded that it was an EF1 tornado that impacted portions of Rosedale, which was formed just to the southeast of there, and then it advanced eastward into Galestown. That area felt the brunt of the system. A lot of uprooted trees, branches snapped, damage to roofs. Saw those winds gusting as high as 110 to 110 miles an hour. The path, about 11 miles, and the width was 600 yards, and then it dissipated just to the south of Bethel. And thankfully, no injuries or fatalities were reported. Much calmer today, but on the breezy side, we saw a gust as high as 41 miles an hour in Salisbury, 35 in Ocean City. Right now, we are pleasant, 69 degrees. Temperatures right now still on the mild side, 71 in Lewis. We're at 71 in Milford, 68 in Seaford, 68 in Delmar. Winds have calmed considerably from where they were at earlier. Still seeing some gusts upwards of 15 miles an hour. We have another cold front that's going to be pushing through tonight, ushering in drier air. A whole lot of severe weather going on out here in the plains at this hour. This energy is eventually going to be lifting eastward in the days ahead. So we have some sunny, comfortable days ahead. Mild days, cool, crisp nights. Then that energy works into our way. Not expecting anything severe at this point, but widespread rain expected as we go into the middle part of the week. Cooler temperatures as well. We're going to be in the 60s by Wednesday, even into Thursday and Friday. Wall-to-wall sunshine tomorrow, absolutely gorgeous with temperatures topping out in the upper 70s. Pretty similar to what we experienced today. We'll talk more about the rain coming up middle part of the week in a little bit, coming up a little bit later on in the 7-day forecast. Brandon?
Thank you, Chris. And a heads up to drivers in Milton. A major road closure is starting tomorrow, Monday, May 19th. Cave Neck Road will be closed between Diamond Farm Road and Hudson Road for bridge repairs. The bridge, originally built in 1913, will get structural upgrades, including new guardrails and safety improvements. The closure is expected to last through late August with weather permitting, and detours are posted for both eastbound and westbound traffic. If you take the bus in Delaware, some changes are rolling out this summer. DART says beachgoers can expect service to start this upcoming Monday with more rides all the way through Labor Day. The Route 305 Beach Connection will also be coming back on weekends and holidays starting this Friday. But DART says Rehoboth's ticket booth will be closed this season, so the best way to get bus tickets is on the DART mobile app in Delaware. Lewis Police is reminding dog owners that dogs must be leashed at all times in public, including the beaches, and are not allowed on the beach from 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. between May 1st and September 30th. City officials urge cooperation to keep everyone safe and cool this summer. It was day 2 of Boardwalk Rock in Ocean City, and whether it was by car, foot, or the bus, there were waves of people looking to take part in the first ever Boardwalk Rock. CoastTV News reporter Kevin Sapay shows us how all these people helped businesses in town.
This weekend held the first ever Boardwalk Rock in Ocean City. And with the amount of crowds coming in, Andrada Roba, who's a manager at a coffee shop right along Baltimore Avenue, says it's hard keeping up with the waves of people.
Way busier than expected. So usually in the morning between like 9 and noon, it was a line all the way out for like 3 hours straight.
Rob Zombie, Nickelback, and Def Leppard were just some of the headliners for Boardwalk Rock. And with all the tickets being sold out, trying to find a place to park your car was an issue for many. What usually takes us 12 minutes to drive into Ocean City and start covering our story took well over an hour. After driving in the traffic into downtown Ocean City, there was no parking in sight, which resulted in us following the wave of cars to park across the Route 50 bridge, then walk right back over to head towards the event, something many people had to do. But for Ron Weidlich, who drove all the way from Pennsylvania to rock and roll along the coast, Weidlich says the town being busy can be nothing but positive for OC.
It brought a lot of people in that wouldn't be here normally, you know, and yeah, I think it does great for the city.
Weidlich says he plans on coming back next year, as well as attending Country Calling later this year. I'm Kevin Zapay, Ocean City, Coast TV News.
Boardwalk Rock was put on by the same producers of Ocean's Calling and Country Calling. These other two festivals have proven to be very successful, with 50,000 in attendance for 2024's Ocean Calling and about the same for Country Calling. Ocean's Calling is going to be on its 4th year on the beach, while Country Calling will only be on its 2nd. A campaign in Ocean City is reminding people to walk smart, bike smart, and drive smart. The state of Maryland's Department of Transportation and Ocean City officials have been working on it for years to stress the importance of being safe and following the rules of the road. State Highway has even invested in median fencing to encourage the efforts. This summer, the Walk Smart campaign posters we put up on buses and improvements have been made to crosswalks. On your screen now are new pictures coming out of a crash on Thursday at Cedar Creek Road. The Milton Fire Department and Ellendale FD, as well as Sussex County EMS, responded to the crash. Milton FD says this crash left one person in critical condition. And new info: in a deadly crash near Angola, Delaware State Police have identified the victim of Friday's deadly crash as 48-year-old Perry Vance of Millsboro. The crash happened just before 6 a.m. on Friday morning when Vance's Nissan Sentra veered off Holly Mount Road and struck a parked flatbed trailer, pushing it into a second one. Vance was pronounced dead at the scene. In Rehoboth Beach, the Beach Patrol Station is gearing up for its grand opening. Preliminary work began on the Beach Patrol Station in December of 2023, and according to the city, the project cost $5.5 million, which is about $750,000 over budget. The grand opening is scheduled for this Thursday, May 22nd. Staying in Rehoboth Beach, Osprey Point is a luxury neighborhood with houses starting in the mid-600,000s, but neighbors that live inside are claiming they were misled by false advertising. The main problems homeowners have is with a bayside off the property. Neighbors made a website called exposingenvyhomes.com. The website says a picture from the brochure from Envy Homes claims there will be a beachfront with an infinity pool and a dock, but none of that is there now. CoastTV spoke with a homeowner who was looking forward to the lifestyle he says he was promised.
Well, I think we all paid extra to live here for the amenities they offered us, and to date we don't have any of them, so I think we've overpaid.
CoastTV News did reach out to Envy Homes. We were told this is the first they were hearing of the Exposing Envy Homes website and provided no statement at this time. Pope Leo XIV was officially installed as the leader of the world's Catholics in an inaugural mass in the Vatican today. The pontiff pledged to safeguard the Catholic Church teachings while urging it to face modern challenges head-on. Addressing thousands in St. Peter's Square, Leo emphasized the need for the 1.4 billion member church to remain rooted in its tradition, saying there was no room for religious propaganda or power plays in the institution's future. And there was Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Ukrainian President Zelensky were among the tens of thousands of people at St. Peter's Square for the formal installation service of history's first American Pope. Coming up tomorrow on CoastTV News, development in Millsboro, rapid growth. The town is changing election districts.
Well, speaking of tomorrow morning, bright blue skies are going to be greeting us with a temperature of around 60 degrees, and we're going to continue that sunshine in the afternoon. Be a little on the breezy side. We're going to duplicate the same weather we had today, but we are going to see some changes down the road. We'll talk all about that coming up in a little bit.
The Brooklyn Bridge crash, how many injured and dead, and how this ship crashed into the bridge. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just 60 seconds.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
2 people died and more than a dozen others were injured Saturday night when a Mexican naval training ship struck the Brooklyn Bridge. 19 people were injured and 2 more passed away from their injuries. The crash happened when a Mexican Navy ship hit the bridge during a sailing maneuver on a training cruise.
Pilot, the captain that was maneuvering the ship, lost, power of the ship and the current. Mechanical function caused the ship to go right into the pillar of the bridge.
No major damage occurred to the bridge, according to officials with the Department of Transportation. Emergency management officials and inspectors continue to assess what damage, if any, was done to the bridge. Overnight, Russia launched one of its most intense drone attacks on Ukraine since the start of its invasion in 2022, firing more than 270 exploding drones, according to Ukraine's Air Force. More than 270 exploding drones and decoys, 88 were intercepted and 128 most likely were electronically jammed, according to Ukraine's Air Force. A 28-year-old woman was killed in the attack and 3 others, including a 4-year-old child, were wounded. President Trump says he will be speaking tomorrow with Russian President Vladimir Putin about ending the war in Ukraine. It comes after representatives from Ukraine and Russia held a face-to-face talks in Turkey on Friday. That was the first time the two countries have talked directly in the last 3 years. Ukrainian President Zelensky met with Vice President Vance and Secretary of State Rubio today in Rome. This was their first meeting since the blow-up at the White House in February when talking about the war in Ukraine. They were all in Rome today for Pope Leo XIV's inaugural Mass. Ukrainian media said the meeting lasted about 40 minutes. Zelensky said it was a good meeting and called for a full and unconditional ceasefire as soon as possible. And we are learning more about the massive explosion outside of a fertility clinic in Palm Springs, California on Saturday. The FBI has now identified the deceased suspect as 25-year-old Guy Edward Bartkiss, a resident of 29 Palms. He is believed to have detonated the explosive that injured 4 and claimed his own life. Overnight, multiple law enforcement tactical officers were seen outside a residence late Saturday, about an hour away from the Palm Springs fertility clinic. Authorities confirmed that when they were executing a search warrant at the residence, which was related to the ongoing investigation.
We believe he was attempting to live stream it, and yes, that is also part of our investigation. We are fairly confident that that subject is Guy Edward Bartkiss, 25-year-old from, again, from, again, 29 Palms.
Authorities confirmed that they were executing a search warrant at that residence, which was related to the ongoing investigation, and the bombing is being investigated as an act of terrorism.
Well, if you're beginning your week with maybe a little round of golf tomorrow, we're going to see plenty of sunshine once again. Temperatures topping out in the upper 70s. We will see some gusts upwards of 30, 35 miles an hour. We do have some heavy rain to talk about in the days ahead, plus a little sneak peek at your all-important Memorial Day weekend forecast coming up when CoastTV News at 11 continues. Well, I hope it was an enjoyable weekend for everyone. We had plenty of sunshine, felt quite summer-like yesterday. We were in the mid to upper 80s, a bit cooler today, but nonetheless, it was a spectacular day across Del Mar. 69 degrees right now in Salisbury. Winds have calmed considerably. We had some gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour earlier today. 70 in Bethany Beach. We're at 70 in Rehoboth, 69 Milton, 69 in Seaford, and we are at 69 in Del Mar. See those wind flow out of the west-northwest. We're still seeing some gusts upwards of 15 at the coast, but those winds have calmed considerably. Now, the small craft advisory for the Delaware coast continues through 6 o'clock tomorrow, as we expect some gusts upwards of 25 to 30 miles an hour throughout the day, and then on the bay that runs through 10. So we are dry, just a few clouds rolling through, all thanks to a cold front that's going to be ushering in even drier air overnight. But boy, has it been an active week of severe weather, deadly tornadoes in Kentucky, and it's quite an active night across Kansas, Texas, as well as Missouri, with rounds of severe storms and tornadoes there. We are dry for the next 2 days. We'll see shower activity roll in. It looks like late Tuesday, mainly Wednesday morning, and then we're going to be rather cool and damp into Thursday, and then we see things kind of dry out as we push into the Memorial Day weekend. Sunshine tomorrow, low humidity, still on the breezy side, and then that rain rolls in by midweek. Could see some heavy rain into Wednesday. 76 tomorrow in Milford. We'll see 74 Rehoboth, 78 Georgetown, 78 Laurel, 78 in Cambridge. Again, those winds gusting upwards of 30, 35 at times. 78 Salisbury, 78 in Crisfield. Along the coast, we're at 75 in Lewis, mostly sunny through the board. 75 in Dewey. We'll see 79 Chicotee. 78 in Ocean City, 75 in Bethany Beach. So there's the winds out of the northwest tomorrow. By Tuesday morning, I think some of us drop into the upper 40s away from the coast. So another chilly start to the day. Still a nice day overall, mostly sunny, a northerly wind with highs in the lower 70s. Then as we get into Wednesday, you see wall-to-wall heavy rain across the area from coast to the bay. Could be heavy at times, a widespread rain, pretty nasty with the east wind. Temperatures struggling to get out of the 50s, I think, for most of the day. That area of low pressure tracks to the Great Lakes, and then we'll see that another area of low pressure track right over us off the coast. Could see upwards of an inch or more, I think, of rain between Wednesday and Thursday. So there's that widespread rain. Could even see a rumble of thunder there late Wednesday into Thursday, but just some residual moisture maybe into Friday. But I think we begin to dry things out. But we stay rather cool. 6 to 10 day temperature outlook shows rather below normal temperatures. Average high this time of year is 75 degrees. So the cool, raw part of the week there, 60, barely getting to 60, I think, on Wednesday with the heavy rain. We see a few showers linger into Thursday, and then we gradually work back up into the lower to mid 70s by Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you, Chris. And as you mentioned, severe weather across the country. Authorities say 5 people were killed in St. Louis County and at least 38 people were injured. Some 5,000 buildings were damaged and close to 100,000 people lost power. Mayor Kara Spencer says this was the first deadly tornado in the city in several decades and is one of the worst storms in the city's history. The National Weather Service says one of the 2 tornadoes was an EF3, packing wind speeds up to 165 miles per hour. 7 people were injured after an EF3 tornado swept through Williamson County in Illinois on Friday. The twister was a mile wide with maximum wind speeds of 165 miles per hour. An estimated 35 to 40 homes were damaged, but no fatalities were reported. Work got underway on Saturday to clear roads, assess damage, and make repairs where needed for operations to restore like power. The Williamson County government is preparing a disaster declaration, which is expected to be released this evening. Coming up, keeping your skin healthy, 5 tips you should know before you hit Delmarva's beaches. That's up next on CoastTV News. It's the human's body's largest organ. Skin helps protect against germs and regulates body temperature, and it's important to safeguard it. So as you head outdoors to soak up some sun this summer, Mandy Gaither has 5 tips to keep skin healthy. It's today's Health Minute.
The weather is warmer and the outdoors may be calling, but as you spend more time under the sun, experts say protecting your skin from its rays is critical, and the first line of defense is sunscreen.
It's really not a matter of the SPF. 30 is fine. It's a matter of applying sunblock correctly.
Dr. Shane Dormady with El Camino Health says many people don't do that. His second tip, proper sunscreen application. Apply it to the skin 15 minutes before going outdoors so it has time to sink in. And reapply sunscreen every 2 hours or more often when you do things like get into the water, sweat, or wipe off with a towel. Third, he says seek shade and avoid too much sun exposure, especially between the hours of 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. when ultraviolet rays are most powerful. Fourth, cover skin with clothing when you can.
Sunglasses have ultraviolet protection, and wearing a hat is helpful, especially a wide-brimmed hat.
Finally, be aware of the sun's reflection, especially if you're heading to the beach.
When you are near the water or on the sand, water and sand can actually magnify and somewhat reflect the rays of the sun, making it easier to get a sunburn.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The CDC says most skin cancers are due to much ultraviolet light exposure, which comes not only from the sun, but also tanning beds and sun lamps. So the agency advises everyone to avoid rays from those sources too. After the break here on CoastTV News at 11, as we take a live look into Ocean City, we have a final check on your forecast. Journalism, how about that name, made an amazing comeback from behind effort yesterday to win the 150th running of the Preakness Stakes in Baltimore. Entering the final curve, journalism was behind, but made a remarkable run. Journalism's jockey, Umberto Rispoli, is the first jockey from Italy to win any of the Triple Crown races. And it might be hard to believe, but Chris, Sunday Night Football is right around the corner, just a few months away, and CoastTV is your exclusive home to watch it all. Here's the first couple of matchups you won't want to miss. The season kicks off with a big showdown as the Dallas Cowboys head to Philadelphia to take on the reigning Super Bowl champs. Then, on Sunday night, it's a matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. Week 2, the Atlanta Falcons take on the Minnesota Vikings. Then week 3, it's the Kansas City Chiefs visiting the New York Giants. Again, all these games are right here on CoastTV. And Chris, Eagles-Packers on Monday Night Football, though.
Oh, I know. Can't wait. We can't wait for that one. I know you're planning on going to games. We're looking at the schedule, see which ones fit our schedules best. But, yep, football season just months away. It's been a nice night out there. We've seen clear skies. Winds have relaxed. 69 degrees right there in Salisbury. Pretty nice car washing weather, at least for the next 2 days. We're going to give it the green light Monday to Tuesday. Wednesday, not the case, because we're going to be seeing some heavier rain build into the area. Get your forecast anytime by dialing that First Alert weather phone. That rain spreads into the area Wednesday. Widespread rain, heavy at times, lingers into at least early part of Thursday, and then we gradually rebound as far as temperatures are concerned. Memorial Day weekend looking pretty dry right now. Don't hold me to it just yet, but we are looking at 75 by your Memorial Day.
Thank you, Chris, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. We'll see you in just a few hours for Coast TV News today at 5 a.m. Have a great night.